Hey guys, I'm Phylum and welcome back to the Four Seasons Gaming Summer Warm-Up Duel Competition. We're here today with the last of the quarterfinal games. So we're going to have Fraze v Traits and Storm v Camma, and we're just going to look at one map from each because apparently these were the most interesting by a really long way. We should have respawn timers up from the start here, and we'll get into the game. So we're here on Blood Run, and this is Eli, also known as Traits, a map he used to really love and play all the time, and it's probably, you know, I would say it would be his best chance to take a map off of Fraze. And so yeah, you can see off of these spawns, Fraze basically gets an awful spawn and does the worst thing possible. Like, he doesn't wait to hear where Eli spawns, and he just runs straight into his shaft, so he'll give up that really early frag, and Eli here, basically doing exactly what he needs to, picks up the rest of the items. He's got himself all three major guns, and right now he just needs to wait and hear where Fraze is, and right now he's waiting because he knows Fraze is going to want this rocket launcher, and he actually hears Fraze there. He also manages to deny the yellow armor, which is very good. And now with red armor coming up, Fraze won't show his face. That would just be too much of a risk because he doesn't have, you know, the rail to shoot onto it or really any stack to play around either. And here, Traits makes a really interesting decision. He actually goes over and denies that yellow armor, rather than going straight to Mega, and that did give Fraze an opportunity to push onto it, but Fraze just assumed Eli would be there, so he actually doesn't pick it up, and now Eli has absolutely everything, and Fraze has nothing. He's going to make the rocket jump and pick up this red armor, and if he can get away for free, this is going to be an amazing... Oh, and yeah, it is. I mean... Oh, and that's horrible weapon selection as Traits. I mean... Holy shit, he just gave Fraze the perfect opportunity. So, by walking into that room backwards with the rail out, Fraze could just drop on him, no worries, and completely annihilate his stack. And now Traits, he's not exactly on the back foot, but he's not in the position he should be. He's actually going to push in here. He has very little armor, but he's still going to make a play for this Mega, and he makes it work out. Oh, and that's an aggressive rocket jump, because again, he has no armor. But Fraze, backing away. Just, you know, not expecting Traits to, well, Eli rather, to play like that. And so yeah, I mean, that's fairly interesting from Fraze. I mean, he definitely had a lot of respect for Eli's kind of, you know, aggression there, but Fraze probably could have had a bit more of a presence at that red armor. It looks like he still heard the time, because he was up there to kind of, you know, get in Eli's face a bit as he himself went for it, but... I don't know, it isn't really worth all of that much. And now, oh, Eli's doing something really smart here, and he's actually delaying his red armor pickup so that it doesn't come up at the exact same second as the Mega. There is still going to be, you know, not a lot of time between them, but it gives him enough time to pick up the Mega and then go for a rail or something, if he needs to, but ideally he's going to try and pick up both. Fraze has done a really good job though of cycling around and picking up these yellows, and it looks like he might have a little bit of stack to play with. And yeah, here, again, he catches Traits with a bad gun out. Traits goes for this rail, assuming Fraze was going to try and leave through the teleporter, but Fraze actually said, well, hey, if you're going to fire the rail at me, this is completely free damage with the LG. And this is, you know, for the second time we've seen Traits caught out with just the wrong gun. Oh, and that's fantastic from Fraze. He knew he would catch Traits exactly like that. There would be nothing Traits could do once he caught him. Just fantastic setup for a really good frag. And now, yeah, Traits is going to try and do some damage, and Fraze doesn't have a lot of stack. He's, yeah, I think that was probably a little bit greedy. Oh, he's very fortunate though to be able to spawn and pick up that Mega. Traits, can he get away without taking another rail? It's a good drop. I don't know why he would turn around and go for that LG damage. I mean, he was never going to kill Fraze. The only thing that was ever going to happen would be that he died, and dying again there. Yeah, Traits, I mean, you know, he's had a pretty good start here. He really doesn't want to throw it away, because chasing Fraze for a few frags can be, you know, really difficult for the best of players. Oh no, Traits. And again, he just got greedy looking for these shots, and Fraze was able to absolutely fly in and just demolish him. So yeah, I'm not sure if that was a case where Eli just didn't know the second timing and Fraze did, or just a genuine mistake from Eli there. And right now, yeah, Eli has no leg to stand on. Fraze, his stack isn't huge, but he's just completely all over everything that Eli wants to do. And yeah, he's starting to feel a bit confident with that shake of the mouse, I guess. He's gonna go up the stairs into this red, and this can be a really risky route if Eli's expecting it. But he isn't there. And see, I don't really know. Here he comes down the stairs, directly into a rocket from Fraze, and yeah, judging from how quickly he died there, he didn't actually have the stack, especially not to push down that way, where you're just asking to take a face full of damage. Oh, beautiful, beautiful spawn prediction there, and now the frags are coming fast and furious for Fraze. This is slipping away really quickly from Eli. Oh, big grenade, but yeah, now this is just kind of looking more and more like standard Fraze rape. Traits, there's a red armor coming up. He doesn't want to be here because he just doesn't have any of the weapons that he needs. He is going to be here though and try and plasma Fraze away. It's just, it's not going to work, and I think this is over. I think we're going to see the forfeit soon. Okay, so the second game we're going to be looking at is between Storm and Camma. I know I've talked to Storm and he said he was really happy with his performance in this game, so it'll be interesting to see just quite what happens. It's going to be here on Cure, and this is a map I know Storm likes it. I know lots of people have really grown to love this map. Oop. Just accidentally pressing a button there. I forget this isn't Wolfcam, and you literally can't press anything while the demo is playing.
Prepare to fight.
And so here we go, Storm v Camma. This is the last quarterfinal game I'm going to be casting, so we'll go hopefully with Storm off the spawn.
Fight.
Yeah, and it is going to be Storm, who gets a nice spawn at the Mega. He grabs the lightning gun, which again is very, very nice to have on this map. He's going to favour coming over to the rocket launcher side of the map. And he's gonna drop for a bit of a trap on Camma there and try and push him away. Yeah, and that was a recipe for disaster, really. Just asking to take a rail. Camma, of course, not just gonna stand there and take plasma to the face. It's a... Oh wow, these rails from Camma are really strong. And yeah, Storm just gets pushed away from everything there, and that really, like, it was a really aggressive way to start to think that he could drop down and damage Camma like that. He could look for a rail, or maybe just slightly not quite getting the feel for that red there off the start, thinking it might still be up. He could have maybe looked for a rail onto the Mega instead if he was going to do anything, but just bounces Camma around there while Camma tries to push into him. And yeah, Storm's rockets are really on form today, and they're really fantastic to well, fantastic. I mean, it was a bit of a risk to stay in that red armor room, but it was a risk for Camma to come in too, and Storm is the one who punishes. Oh, Storm though, this is an aggressive drop. He again, he doesn't have loads of stack. Thankfully, his rockets are just on form, and wow, cleaning Camma up. So again, just taking this really early lead. The question will be if he can maintain it for the entire game. So yeah, now that he's got this red, he's got a nice bit of stack, and he thinks Camma's going to want to jump for this railgun. He really wants to deny this rail. He hears Camma's rocket, so he's going to kind of have an idea of what side of the map he's on, but I think Camma's probably over taking lightning gun by this point, and yeah, Storm finally comes over to this side of the map to make sure that that isn't what's happening. There's not a lot of time between red and Mega, and Storm's doing exactly the right thing here, just waiting to hear what Camma's going to do before he commits to either item, and there he hears Camma, and so he knows. Again, just really determined to deny this rail. Camma makes a really good move. He must have heard Storm take the bounce pad or something, and he got in between Storm and the Mega, and this is something you hear me say a lot in games I cast, but if you get between your opponent and the item, you know, there's only one way they can go, and there's only one way they're going to want to go, and you can see Camma with his lightning gun catch just dealt so much damage to Storm, and that's why that situation unfolded like it did. So right now Cam, who's coming into the middle of the map, again, he's gonna come to this position and look for damage onto rail, but Oh, Storm, he makes that drop into the middle of the map. He has no weapons to defend himself, and Camma, this is just like a vulture circling around his prey. Even though he doesn't quite hit the shots, he manages to push Storm far enough away that he can have his way with these items, and Storm... Wow, that's... yeah. Camma really just, again, doing exactly what Storm was doing and trying to deny that railgun, because both of these players know. Oh, not even trying to deny the railgun. I think Storm might have picked it up by now, but looking for that shot as Storm walked across the bridge. And yeah, that's amazing damage from Storm though. And Camma, realizing he's missed out on that red, Storm's failed rocket jump, it might actually save him in a sense. He will still eat a rail. He just can't go for this way A, and yeah, there's no reason to even stick around here, because if Camma wants to hit these rails, which he does, it's just, you know, such easy damage. And Storm, he knows he wants to come over for this red, but he also knows that he doesn't actually have the stack to be here, so he pulls a bit of a sneaky move, and it is fairly good movement. Again, there's no reason to look for that rail if you're railable yourself, because if your opponent hits it, it puts you in a much worse situation than if, you know, you didn't go for the shot at all. It's a big risk, and it just doesn't pay off most of the time. So now, again, we're going to have a bit of a quiet period where Camma is just trying to hear Storm out. Storm, though, he's doing a really great job. He's gone full Cypher here, and he just isn't making a sound. He tries to catch Camma as Camma flies around that corner, and Storm, again, you know, he's been hitting good rockets this game. He tries to rely on that again, but it just doesn't quite work for him. Great from Camma to not try and chase... Oh no, he is going to continue to look for damage, and this could actually be problematic because both Red and Mega are going to be up here, and yeah, you can see Camma, he realizes that he kind of, you know, can't do anything to either one, and Storm, I mean, that was a lot of damage onto Camma there with that plasma. He will give up another frag, which, you know, isn't ideal at this point in the game, but I mean, he denied the item from Camma. Cam's going to have no armor to play with. Sadly, this yellow is going to come up though. But yeah, you can see that whole situation, like, I mean, Camma basically should have gone straight to Mega and then gone back in time for Red, and he would have been able to just completely destroy Storm if Storm tried to pull what he did. Instead, he looked for damage, which he didn't get, and then kind of had to spread himself thinly between both items, which works out for him, but it could have gone, you know, a bit differently if the yellow hadn't have been up when it was. But you know, I guess most of the time that will probably still work out mostly like that as long as you hit your shots. But, you know, on the day, anyone can miss their shots. Storm, oh, he really wants to try and push Camma around here, and the rocket jump is just so aggressive. He is going to catch Camma in the little red alcove. The lightning gun is strong. He almost cleans up a frag. Wow, that was really, really strong LG there, and he's taking a lot of damage, but he will actually clean up a frag on Camma, and so now, you know, the Storm comeback is real. You know, he's got 4 minutes to make up 2 frags and just make sure he doesn't lose this control. Now he has to make a bit of a decision though. Honestly, I would just go for Mega here, because he's going to drop down, and now Camma can actually be in this room to do damage. And yeah, Storm manages to push him away with these rockets, but you can see there that, you know, if Storm had just said, well, hey, you know, I'm too late into this red, I'm just going to let you take it and take my Mega for free, it would have been a much more secure situation. And now, dropping down here, he's just, again, opening himself up to all this damage he doesn't need to take. There's no reason to be taking this much damage. You know, Camma taking the yellow, it's not the best thing for him, but losing all of your stack in just some wild attempt to do damage, I mean, you know, he's got 3 minutes to make up 2 frags, and on this map, the best way to, you know, make up frags is to make sure you have a stack and just wait to catch your opponent out. Once you have no stack, you know, your opponent's going to spawn on an armor, they're probably going to get a gun fairly easily. You need to get reasonably clean frags, otherwise you're just asking for a world of trouble. And Storm, you can see, because he hasn't had this stack, he hasn't actually been able to push in and clean up this frag that he's needed to. Yeah, he's still going to be looking reasonably healthy, and sadly, and this is perfect for Camma at the moment when there are no items up on the map, because he's going to be looking, if he can hit a rail onto Storm, he's going to be a very happy man. And here Storm actually makes the right decision and just splits the major items because he knows that if he tries to push in, it would probably be spreading himself too thin. It's unfortunate that he can't hit that rail down that passage, and he shouldn't be in here like this. Fortunate to manage that swap and get away so cleanly, and this is a great catch actually. That rocket jump really surprised Camma, and it was so nearly a frag. And Camma makes a predictable drop onto that 50, but Camma's hitting the strong rockets now. Storm, he doesn't want to die here. He really doesn't want to die. I really, the LG push when he was, 3 plasma balls from death at the most. It's just such a huge risk, and Storm, is he going to push for this frag? I mean, he hears Camma take the teleporter, so he knows he's safe to take red, and now with just over a minute left, Storm is going to have to start putting the pressure on a little bit more, but as we've seen, every time Storm's tried to put the pressure on, Camma's responded with this great damage output. So if Storm starts to feel pressured, I mean, we could see this game end very soon. Storm. This could be a nice catch of Camma, but it's Camma who's hitting the damage, and Storm, he's going to call GG. So that was actually, really close, really exciting. Camma did go on to win this series 3-0, but Storm showing us that, Camma is very much beatable.